Has tipping culture finally gone too far in the United States? I remember there was a time you can just walk into a cafe and you order some food or you order like a coffee to go and there was no tip requirement. They probably had like a cute little tip jar, and if you felt generous that day because somebody came to work, you could put $1 or $2 in there. But I feel like these days, just because someone happens to be taking your order at a register, you're now like obligated to tip. Like, when did we get here where you just briefly have to talk to someone and they want a tip? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I really want to discuss tipping culture. I live in New York and I go out every single day, almost every day. And more places are adapting this tipping culture on the tablet. They all purchase the same tablet, they turn it around, or it's already facing you. And then after they take your order, there's this option to leave a tip. But I waited online standing. I got to the counter. I placed my order. And then I waited for my coffee and I want to go enjoy it without having to tip. Not to mention, like, ordering a matcha is like $9. So $9 and you want me to leave you a 20% tip at least? I think it's freaking insane. So I just want to talk about, when did this happen? How do you guys feel about it? Do you guys think tipping should be required everywhere you go, everywhere you place an order? I think that's absolutely ridiculous. My stance on it is tipping is wonderful. I love tipping. We should tip, but there's a place for tipping. There's a certain kind of service you receive when you feel the need to tip, and it should only be a requirement, I guess, in like mostly serving restaurants where you have a waiter, a waitress, and they're taking you to your table and being so kind. I don't want to live in a world where somebody like barely interacts with you and you're tipping them. So let's go to the start. When did tipping culture in America get so out of hand? I personally have noticed tipping culture gone straight downhill ever since after COVID. It was like, everyone was going through a difficult time during COVID and people were more generous, especially for a lot of those people who had lost their job for a little while and then started going back to work. I think that's what I really noticed. Everywhere you start going, tipping is almost required. And I did do a little bit of research, so I'm not just talking out of my ass. Tipping culture basically skyrocketed during the pandemic. Businesses started adapting to digital payment systems rather than, cash. So you went from like an old school register to these basically iPad tablets, which now offer that tipping option. And they started showing up everywhere. So now tip screens are at coffee shops, bakeries, takeout, fast casual restaurants, and self-service situations. And like, just to get back to like self-service situations, and the reason I even thought to talk about this topic is I had recently visited a matcha spot. I think they were called Yes Cloud or something. I don't even remember the name. It was just this nice new Chinese style matcha spot that opened up, and I went and placed an order on one of those tablets. I don't know what you call them, a Kyrack, a keys rack, I don't know, I forget what it's called. It's basically a huge iPad tablet, and you place your order, you go through the screen, and then you get to the end of the screen, and for some reason it's asking to tip. And I kind of like, I noticed it so much because the screen does not let you go forward until you select tip. So I was kind of baffled that I couldn't go forward with my transaction until like I kind of looked at the top of the screen and was like, you have to choose a tip. I was like, huh? Okay, 0%. Because one, I didn't speak to anyone. I waited online for actually really long because this place was like overhyped, overpopular. It's very tasty, but I feel like people are so crazy about new cafes. It's like insane. But I chose 0%. And I posted about it on my TikTok. And yes, a lot of people were agreeing with me that they also think it's insane. Tipping culture is literally getting out of hand. But we have some people that were saying, I had someone comment, and I'll probably stitch or add it here so you guys can see. But this person was basically saying that the person is making a drink and they're making the drink for you. So you out of the goodness of your heart, should tip them for making a drink for you. I'm honestly really confused about that statement because, for example, if you have a job, any job, you literally spoke to the management, knew how much you were getting paid, and you know your job description. You are getting paid to make drinks. And in that instance, you're getting paid. And minimum wage here in New York, I know minimum wage is like $15. I don't know if it went up since I was in minimum wage. But like, you're getting paid to make the drink. If you don't like making drinks, don't work there. If somebody interacted with you and you are like so sweet and so kind to them, and you make the drink like with love, and I can see that you made the drink with love, then maybe out of the graciousness of like feeling someone went above and beyond for you, you're like, you know what, let me throw you a tip. $2, $3, whatever, 20% of whatever price your drink costed. But that's kind of where I want to reel it in. It's like, tipping is not a requirement. It's out of generosity for good service. You feel generous because someone's being so kind to you. They could be having a bad day, but they're being so kind to you and going above and beyond. So I feel like in that case, so this comment is almost like, oh my God, somebody's making me a drink and I should just be grateful that they're making me a drink. So I should tip them. I think that's insane because I just want a drink. We live in the 21st century. We have options to get tasty drinks. So there's restaurants for that. I go to the restaurant to get that drink. You're getting paid to make that drink. I do not have to tip you unless, again, I feel like it. I think we can all agree that tipping waiters and waitresses is fair, right? They're coming to you kindly most of the time. I feel like these days people don't even like being kind anymore. So waiters and waitresses truly deserve your tip. They come to you at the front of the restaurant, they have you seated, and then they basically cater to your needs throughout the entire process, right? They take your order, they see if you have allergies, they go back to the kitchen, they come back, they bring your food. When you finish your food, they take your plates, they ask you if you need anything else, they refill your water, at least most of the time, right? You are obligated in that case, in my opinion, even when you travel overseas, which is another topic, but it just feels good to tip people who are really, their job is hard. That's hard. I would be like, I'm literally doing everything and I'm gonna like at least tip a little bit. But the amount of tip is up to you. I don't think you should have to tip a percentage of how much food you ordered. Or like, let's say you go to a really expensive restaurant. You could have ordered like 5 dishes, but those 5 dishes were like $40 a plate, and now your bill is crazy expensive, and you just wanted to go outside to, splurge a little bit as far as eating expensive food, but now they want a percentage of this high bill. Like, I think that is also a problem. It's like, why do we have to tip a percentage of what we purchased? We should tip based off of the service provided. Like, was the server kind? Were they giving me an attitude? Did they look like they didn't want to take my order? Like, in those cases, like, I would not even want to tip, because let's go now to what I wanted to mention about overseas. When you travel to like Asian countries, Japan, for example, we visited Japan. Their service is amazing. Everywhere you go, they are so kind. I don't know if they're faking it, but that's fine with me. I don't feel any fakeness. They smile, they take your order. They're so kind. They clean up, and there's no option to tip, and they don't even expect a tip. They're just there to do their job, and they're doing their job to the best of their performance. And I feel like America really lacks that. And like, people have such an attitude and still want to tip. I think it's baffling. Absolutely baffling. So tip your waiters and waitresses. Hopefully they're kind, so you feel more generous. And then I'm a little iffy. What do you guys think? When you go to a massage place, like when you get a back massage, do you think you should be tipping for that? Do you guys think you should be paying a massage person for doing the massage? Like, they went to school for this. That's like tipping your doctor for doing a checkup. I think that's crazy. But that's just my opinion. I know sometimes their hands probably hurt, so you feel like you should tip, I guess. But at the same time, right? I don't know. Tipping everywhere has become so mad. We work hard for our money, and If you want someone that's working so hard for their own money, and I'm going out and ordering this expensive food, dish, whatever it may be, at least have good service here in the United States of America. And service is usually not that good. Most people I've noticed are miserable at their jobs, but somehow they still feel entitled to your money for making a drink at a job, like I said, that they're getting paid for. So I don't believe in full-on tipping culture. I believe in good service. And when you have good service, then I tip. But for today's video, I just want to leave it at that. I do want to make a part 2 with a more detailed about the history of tipping culture. I don't want the video to be too long. But what do you guys think in the comments down below? Am I cheap? Am I like, are we crazy? Or has tipping culture really gone too far? Again, we all work hard for our money. None of us are millionaires, unless you are. God bless you. But I cannot tip every single time I get a coffee. I cannot tip every time I order takeout. Like, please, tip your delivery person. Because, yeah, the weather's bad sometimes. Delivery people, they deserve a tip. That's like hard work right there. But yes, definitely leave your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, definitely subscribe. We are going to continue this conversation in another video. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next time.